Okay, let's talk about that feeling of being totally worn out, overstimulated, and just, well, off. You know what I'm talking about? It's become this weird side effect of modern life. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be your normal. So today, we're going to build a simple 7-day playbook to help you get your energy and focus back. Let's dive in.
So, do you ever feel tired but wired at the same time? Like you're constantly connected, but you're not really present for anything? Yep, that's the classic sign of our super fast-paced digital world. And man, it can leave you feeling completely and totally drained.
You know, it's funny, it's often the habits we don't even think about that cause the most damage, like mindlessly checking our phones in bed or grabbing that sugary snack when we're stressed out. On their own, they seem small, right? But they really start to add up, and pretty soon they're hitting everything from how well we sleep to our overall mental health.
All right, so let's actually put a name to this thing. We're going to call it the modern overload problem. And honestly, it's something pretty much all of us are dealing with, whether we even realize it or not.
I love this metaphor from sleep specialist Kirsten Taylor. She describes this feeling perfectly. It's like your mind is a web browser with way too many tabs open. Your brain is just racing with thoughts, to-do lists, and all these different tasks, and it feels absolutely impossible to just switch off and rest.
So what's keeping all those tabs open in the first place? Well, it turns out it's this whole vicious cycle. Think about it. The anxiety we get from social media ramps up our stress, and that stress can throw our hormones out of whack. That, in turn, can lead to terrible sleep, which then messes up how we function during the day. And what's fueling this whole mess? A lot of sugar, and those constant, addictive notifications that just keep our brains buzzing 24/7. But here's the good news, and it's really good news. You do not have to live with that feeling of being overloaded. The solution is actually pretty simple. You just need to give yourself a deliberate, strategic break. We're going to call it a personal reset.
So what is a personal reset? Well, it's basically a conscious timeout. It's not about quitting something like social media or sugar forever. It's about stepping back for a little while. This break gives your brain a chance to reset its reward cycles, it helps clear out all that mental clutter, and it gives you the space to build some healthier boundaries for the future.
And this quote just frames it perfectly. I want you to think of this reset not as a punishment or some awful chore. No, it's a restorative gift you give to yourself. It's your chance to really invest in your own well-being. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, I'm ready for a reset. But where do you even start? Don't worry, we're going to build the playbook right now. We'll break it all down into a super simple, actionable plan.
Believe it or not, it all boils down to just 3 key steps. And the cool thing is, these steps work for anything, whether you're resetting your social media habits, cutting back on sugar, or fixing your sleep schedule. Step 1, set your goals. Step 2, identify your triggers. And step 3, replace the old habit with a new, healthy one. That's it.
All right, let's kick things off with step 1, setting your goals. And here's a pro tip. Don't just keep them in your head. Actually write them down. Ask yourself, why do I want this change? Is it to focus better? To feel less anxious? To just have more energy? Trust me, having that why written down on paper is a huge motivator when things get a little tough. Okay, next up, step 2. This one is all about awareness. You have to become a detective. What's actually triggering the habit? Is it that little ping from a notification? Is it the stress after a really long day? Or hey, maybe it's even something physical like a late-night surge of cortisol. That's your body's main stress hormone that just leaves you wide awake. Figuring out these triggers, that's the key to taking back control.
And finally, we've got step 3, replace that old habit. This is so important. You can't just leave an empty space where the old habit used to be. You've got to fill it with something positive. So instead of scrolling, maybe you pick up a book. Instead of grabbing that sugary snack, you go for a quick walk. See, you're not just stopping a bad habit, you're actively starting a good one.
Okay, now let's get real for a second. Making a change like this, it isn't always a walk in the park. Your body and your brain are used to doing things the old way, so you're probably going to experience a little pushback. We're talking withdrawal symptoms, side effects. It's normal.
And it's a totally fair question to ask. If this reset is so good for me, why does it feel so bad at first, right? Well, it turns out there's some pretty fascinating brain science going on behind the scenes.
It really all comes down to this one little neurotransmitter called dopamine. Things like sugar, getting a like on social media, even just a notification on your phone, they all trigger a release of this feel-good chemical in our brain's reward center.
Your brain gets used to that little rush, and when you suddenly take it away, it starts sending out some pretty powerful craving signals to get it back.
And those cravings, they show up in very real ways, both in your head and in your body. Mentally, you might feel anxious or have some serious brain fog. Physically, you could be dealing with headaches, fatigue, maybe even nausea. It's a really clear sign of just how deeply our minds and bodies are connected.
So how do you push through all that? Well, you can fight back. Try stabilizing your blood sugar with foods rich in protein and fiber. Make sure you're staying hydrated. And here's a cool little positive feedback loop for you. 2 of the main goals of the reset, managing your stress and getting enough sleep, are also the most powerful tools to help you actually succeed. Kind of neat, right? Okay, let's say you've made it through the toughest part. Awesome. The final piece of the puzzle is making sure these new positive changes actually stick around long after that first week. It's all about finding a new, sustainable balance that works for you.
And this really comes down to some practical, everyday strategies. You can take control of your tech, use those app timers, turn off all the notifications you don't really need, be intentional with your time, actually schedule offline hobbies. But most importantly, you've got to check in with yourself regularly. Just ask, how am I feeling? Is this balance actually working for me? And then you just adjust as you go.
And just remember, this is not about being perfect. It's about progress. I love how sleep specialist Kristen Taylor puts it. Small steps add up to a treasure journey. Every single positive choice you make just builds on the last one.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. You do not have to overhaul your entire life overnight. So think about it for a second. What's just one small, totally manageable reset you could commit to starting right now? Maybe it's just putting your phone away an hour before bed, or maybe it's swapping one sugary drink for a glass of water. So, what's your first step going to be?